Where should you live in Durham, North Carolina? The suburbs explained right here, right now. You know, most buyers moving to the Triangle start with Raleigh, but the ones who really do their homework take a good look at Durham as well. And they're usually pretty glad that they did. Prices in Durham are lower than Raleigh, but you still get a wide range of neighborhoods, everything from golf communities to walkable historic districts. I've been in real estate for years, and today I'm going to walk you through every major Durham area so you can get a clear feel for where you might actually want to live. You know, first let's talk about Central Durham. It's all about the culture and the energy in this area. Durham has spent the last 10 years building a real identity as a place for arts and food. And I'll tell you, when I want a truly top-notch meal anywhere in the Triangle, Durham is usually where I go. And I'm a total foodie, and the restaurant scene here is on a different level. Farm to table, chef-driven, and full of local spots that you're not going to find copied all over the region. And that shows up in the feel of this area too. Creatives and food lovers have been drawn here for years, and you can feel that in the neighborhoods. You've also got DPAC, and that's the Durham Performing Arts Center, bringing more than 200 shows a year, popular Broadway hits, big concerts, comedy. It's all right here at DPAC. And right nearby is the American Tobacco campus, which used to be a factory and now is a walkable historic district with restaurants, offices, and plenty of places where people gather. Also in the area is the Durham Bulls Athletic Park, which pulls fans all over the Triangle every season. And the Warehouse District is still growing with new businesses coming in and a lot of momentum. You know, keep this area in mind when we get to Hope Valley, because the difference between these two parts of Durham really show you how much range this city offers. Now, Trinity Park and Duke Park sit right in the middle of all this, with older homes, established tree-lined streets, and easy to access everything around them. So here you have young professionals, artists, and creative people who want walkability, culture, and a neighborhood with real character. And when you compare the price point to similar urban neighborhoods in Raleigh, that definitely gets people's attention. So right about now, this is usually when people say, okay, but which one of these actually fits me? And if you're relocating to Durham and you want somebody to help you think through a neighborhood fit, commute trade-offs, and what is actually on the market right now, my contact is in the info below, and I'd love to help. Reach out. Talk of Durham would not be complete without a discussion of North Durham's Trayburn and Crossdale neighborhoods. About 5 miles from all that central energy, Durham starts to feel like a totally different place. Trayburn is a 1,600-acre community built around a Tom Fazio designed golf course, and it's part of a large golf network, so residents get access to multiple courses across our region. And when I think about Trayburn, I think green, peaceful, and tucked away. It feels private, it feels calm, safe, and relaxing. You know, Crossdale is right there in that same part of Durham, and it's another established golf community with its own 18-hole course and a very similar feel. Both of these areas usually run from the high fives to over $1 million, and both sit about 20 minutes from downtown Durham, 25 minutes from Duke, and 30 minutes from RTP. But you do need to understand the trade-off before you fall in love with the setting. In these areas, you're about 15 minutes from the nearest grocery store. And that's not a knock at all, it's just the truth. Some buyers really want that kind of separation. They want peace, space, and that feeling of being away from everything. I just don't want you finding that out 6 months after you move here and buy a home. And keep this part of Durham in mind when we get to the older West Side neighborhoods, because the difference is pretty striking. You know, now here we have established professionals and retirees who care about golf, calm surroundings, and the prestige of an address. If serenity is part of your everyday lifestyle, North Durham does that really well. But in about 15 minutes in any direction, and the whole vibe changes. If you travel to Northwest Durham, you have both Briar Creek and the 55 corridor to learn about. If North Durham is for buyers who want to get away from the pace of the Triangle, Northwest Durham is for the ones that want to be right in the middle. Briar Creek sits right on the Durham-Raleigh line, and the big draw here is simple: location. You're close to RDU, close to RTP, and surrounded by a kind of newer infrastructure that makes day-to-day life a whole lot easier. And this area is still growing. And by the way, Durham Gateway at Briar Creek is a 300-acre mixed-use development that has already been approved. So if you like the idea of getting into an area before it's fully built out, that's worth paying attention to. The bigger story here right now is the 55-plus communities. There are 5 of them in this stretch of area, and 2 are still being built. Carolina Arbors by Del Webb is the largest, with 1,292 homes and 37,000 square feet of amenity centers. And then you've got Creekside at Bethpage, Ovation by Mungo, Findle Farms by Lennar, and the Courtyards at Oak Grove by Epcon. These are fully amenity-active adult communities with fitness centers, pools, clubs, and social events, and RDU is right nearby. But first, let's talk about actually who lives here. Basically, 55-plus buyers who want built-in community from day one move here fast. And also working professionals who want easy access to RTP and the airport without paying downtown prices see value in this area. Practical, well-located, and still growing, which is very different pitch from what's waiting on the west side of the city. In West Durham, you have Trinity Park and Duke Park. There's a reason Duke employees keep ending up in the same few neighborhoods, and no, that's not by accident. Trinity Park is a historic district tucked between downtown and Duke's East Campus. And you've got craftsman bungalows, early colonials, and homes from the early 1900s that have a real character. And you can walk to downtown restaurants in the 9th Street area, which has its own mix of local shops and cafes. Duke Park has a lot of that same feel. It's established, full of character, close to the university, and it has the kind of streets where neighbors actually know each other. And both of these neighborhoods pull in a lot of Duke employees, plus buyers who know they do not want a subdivision. Now, prices reflect that demand, and most homes that hit the market land somewhere between the high 500s to the high 800s, and they tend to move fast. These homes do not sit on the market for long. So here, when we have people who move to Durham because they want history, walkability, and neighborhoods with real character, these are the folks that usually find exactly what they were hoping for in West Durham. The community feel is real, and the access to Duke downtown is real. And for a lot of buyers, that makes the price a whole lot easier to understand. But just southwest of here, the price story gets genuinely interesting. Southwest Durham is all about Duke Forest and Hope Valley. 2 of Durham's most sought-after addresses sit right next to each other in the southwest, and they pull in very different buyers for very different reasons. Duke Forest is surrounded by 7,000 acres of university-owned forest, so you're not just near green space, you're living right in the middle of green space. You'll find a strong mix of mid-century modern homes here, and that alone draws a certain type of buyer. Median listing prices usually land in the mid to high 700s, and a lot of people who live here are tied to Duke, faculty, staff, and the hospital employees. The feel is wooded, private, and close to campus. And if that's your style, there's really isn't another part of Durham that feels quite the same. Then you've got Hope Valley, and this is one of those neighborhoods people know. It has that established feel with deep roots, strong demand, and buyers who are still ready to compete when the right home comes up. This historic section has homes dating back to the 1920s, and it's also on the National Register of Historic Places. You've also got large estate lots here, and more younger families have been coming in and putting serious money into renovations. Real renovations, not just little cosmetic fix-ups. Plus, the Hope Valley Country Club is a big part of the social side of this neighborhood. Median home values is in the low to mid 400s, which surprises a lot of buyers when they hear the address. Commute times are strong too, about 15 minutes to downtown Durham and RTP, and about 20 minutes to RDU. So Hope Valley has held its value over time, and you can see that in the numbers. People who live here include established buyers who want a strong address, and Duke professionals who want more space and privacy, and younger families who see the upside and want to get in right now. And the broad appeal is a big part of why this neighborhood stays so steady. But just south of here, there's an area that gives you a very different version of Durham than you might expect. South Durham offers Woodcroft, and where Hope Valley pulls in buyers who want history and a certain address, Woodcroft is a lot more about how life actually works day to day for a family. This is a planned neighborhood that's built around outdoor living, and you feel that right away. There's a 4-mile walking trail loop running through this community, and the Woodcroft Swim and Tennis Club gives you a pool with slides, tennis courts, and a fitness center. So if you've got kids, those kinds of amenities become part of your regular week faster than you think. And that's just how people live here. Pricing is also more approachable than the golf course communities up north, usually landing in the high 3s, low 4s, depending on the home. And the location works really well for RTP commuters. So you're close to I-40 and the drive is manageable, and it still feels like a real neighborhood, not just a place that happens to be convenient. We have families, people who love being outside, and RTP workers who want solid value without giving up their quality of life. And once people land in Woodcroft, they tend to stay for a long time, and that usually tells you a lot about a neighborhood. But if Woodcroft is the well-kept secret of South Durham, what's coming next has been flying under the radar for even longer. Southeast Durham is all about Parkwood and South Point. A lot of relocation guides barely mention the Southeast Durham area, and I think that's a total miss because this part of town makes a really strong case for buyers who want to stay close to RTP without paying West Side prices. Parkwood is one of North Carolina's earliest planned communities. It started in the 1960s across 560 acres, and today it has about 3,000 residents. You've got a mix of classic ranch homes from the 60s and the 70s, along with newer construction, and the neighborhood still has a strong identity. There's a swim club, sports association, an elementary school right in the community, and events like Summerfest and a holiday festival that people actually show up for. So this is not one of those neighborhoods that just looks good on a map. It works in day-to-day real life. Location is a big part of the appeal. Parkwood sits just a few miles from RTP. So if you work at Apple, IBM, Cisco, or Dell, this is about as close as you can get in residential living. And compared to some of the West Side neighborhoods we've already covered, you can get that same sense of community at a more approachable price point. The streets of South Point anchors the retail side of this area, with more than 150 shops, and nearby neighborhoods like Chancellor's Ridge, Covert Farms, Hills at South Point, and Grand Dale give you a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, and apartments. The American Tobacco Trail runs right through this area, and you're about 10 to 15 minutes from RTP, the airport, and Chapel Hill. This place is a great fit for families who want a real neighborhood feel. RTP workers who want a short commute, and buyers who want better value without ending up somewhere that feels bland. So yeah, this part of Durham checks a lot of boxes all at once. And now I'm throwing in 2 bonus areas here because I'd be doing you a disservice if I left them out. The bonus areas near Durham are Chapel Hill and Hillsborough. Every area we've covered so far is inside the Durham city limits. These 2 are not. And that's exactly why buyers who've really done their homework keep bringing them up. Chapel Hill is about 12 miles from downtown Durham, and with UNC right there, it's a real option for a lot of buyers looking around this side of the triangle. Downtown Chapel Hill has that walkable feel that people just love, with local shops, strong restaurants, and a school system that draws in families from all over our region. But you do pay for that. The median price price here is going to begin in the high 5s to the low 6s. And if you want to be closer to downtown, you're going to get closer to the median range. The drive to RTP can stretch to about 30 minutes, depending on where you end up. And who does all of this actually speak to? Buyers who want that walkable college town lifestyle and are willing to pay more for it. Especially UNC employees tend to feel good about Chapel Hill. It is a tight community. And then there's Hillsborough, North Carolina, and this is one that catches a lot of people by surprise. It's an historic town about 14 miles from Durham, founded in 1754, with a population just under 10,000. The downtown historic district is on the National Registry of Historic Places, with more than 100 historic homes and buildings, and this small town pace feels very real. Ask me about the Scottish Festival in Hillsborough. It's a fun day full of bagpipes, crafts, and vendors from all across our state. And the pricing is a big part of the draw. Median price is in the mid-4s, making it one of the more affordable options in the Triangle for buyers who want charm and history. The commute to RTP is usually under 30 minutes. Living here, we have people who love the feel of Chapel Hill but do not love the price. And we also have remote workers who want somewhere calm and beautiful to call home. Those are the ones that tend to land in Hillsborough and stay there. Durham really rewards buyers who take the time to understand it. Every area we've covered fits a different kind of lifestyle, and picking the right one makes a big difference in your day-to-day life. The good news is you don't have to sort it all out by yourself. If you're ready to get specific about which Durham neighborhood fits you best, email me at marti@martihampton.com. And if you want to see what's happening on the Raleigh side of the Triangle, I linked a video right here that tells more about Raleigh's upcoming projects that will enhance home values. Thanks for watching. See you next time.